Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins Collections, Treasure Seekers, and Coin Lovers. Today's episode is something truly golden, literally. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coins ever minted in the United States. It's sleek, it's historic, and for the lucky few who hold it, it might just be life-changing. We're talking about the 2008 United States Gold $1 coin, and trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because this little coin has a value that might just blow your mind. At first glance, it looks simple. Modest in size, minimal in design, but as with all things rare and valuable, it's what's beneath the surface that really counts. Let's take a journey through its history, its design, what makes it stand out from the rest, and most importantly, how it went from being worth just $1 to potentially becoming one of the most valuable modern coins in America. The story of this coin starts with the Presidential Dollar Coin Program, which began in 2007. This program was created to honor the former presidents of the United States, issuing coins with their portraits in the order they served. Each year, 4 different presidents were featured, and the coins were made primarily for circulation, minted in huge quantities for everyday use. But 2008 was different. That year, one special version of the dollar coin was struck in gold, an experimental issue that few even knew existed. Now, you might be asking, how does a $1 coin get made in gold? And why? The answer lies in a small number of test strikes that were never intended for public release. These gold versions were produced as prototypes or pattern coins, essentially, test coins used by the U.S. Mint to evaluate new materials or minting techniques. These are incredibly rare, and most are either destroyed or kept under strict lock and key. But as with many legendary coins, a few examples somehow made their way into the hands of collectors. That's when the real excitement began. Imagine finding what looks like a regular dollar coin, but realizing it's made entirely of gold. That's not something you'd find in your average coin roll hunt. These coins were struck with stunning precision, often in proof quality, with mirror-like finishes and flawless details. On the obverse side, you'll find the dignified image of one of America's past presidents, such as James Monroe or John Quincy Adams, depending on which coin it is. Around the edge, the inscriptions include the year of issue, the mint mark, and the mottos, E pluribus unum and In God We Trust. But it's the reverse where the artistry really shines. The Statue of Liberty stands tall and proud, a symbol of freedom, resilience, and hope. It's a bold reminder of what the United States stands for, and it's captured beautifully in gold. Even the edge lettering, often overlooked, is crisply struck and perfectly aligned, a detail that collectors absolutely love. So what makes this coin truly valuable? It's a combination of rarity, material, and mystery. First, the gold composition. This isn't gold plating. These rare coins are solid gold, often 0.999 fine, weighing around 15 grams, more than enough to give it intrinsic value based on gold content alone. But beyond that, it's the coin's status as a pattern or error that pushes its value into another stratosphere. Only a few of these coins are known to exist, and each one is essentially unique. Some have slight variations in design, some have edge lettering mistakes, and some even have documentation from the mint that confirms their prototype status. Collectors go crazy for these kinds of anomalies. We're talking about coin hunters, investors, museum curators. Everyone wants a piece of something this rare. And when one of these coins does show up at auction, let's just say it doesn't go unnoticed. The market for rare coins is booming. Over the past decade, we've seen coin prices climb to unimaginable heights, especially for pieces that combine historical significance with extreme rarity. While most coins from the Presidential Dollar series are worth their face value, and maybe a few dollars in uncirculated condition, this gold 2008 dollar coin stands in a category of its own. It's the kind of coin that gets displayed in glass cases under special lighting. It's the kind of coin that has stories whispered about it in collector circles. And yes, it's the kind of coin that can sell for a fortune. So, what's the real value of a 2008 United States Gold $1 coin? Well, if you're holding one of these unicorns, one of the confirmed gold pattern strikes in pristine condition, you could be looking at a jaw-dropping $210,000. That's right. $210,000 from one single coin. So before you toss that shiny dollar into a vending machine or let it roll under your car seat, take a second look. You never know, you just might be holding one of the rarest, most valuable coins in modern American history. Today's episode is about something extraordinary, something so rare, so mysterious, and so valuable, it has collectors buzzing with excitement. We're talking about a coin that looks simple on the outside, but holds a hidden power on the inside. A coin that was never meant for your pocket, never meant for circulation, and certainly never meant to be ordinary. It's the gold $1 coin from the year 2000, an ultra-rare piece of American history that may be worth more than you could ever imagine. Now, if you've ever held a $1 coin from the year 2000, you probably remember the golden-colored Sacagawea design. That series marked the beginning of the new millennium with a beautiful tribute to Native American heritage. Featuring Sacagawea with her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, wrapped in a blanket on her back, it's a striking and meaningful design that millions of Americans have seen, spent, and saved. But today, we're not talking about the ordinary version. We're talking about the rarest of the rare, a version struck not in golden-colored alloy, but in actual, solid gold. This coin is not just rare. It's legendary. So how did it come to be? The story begins at the U.S. Mint in the year 2000. At that time, the Mint was working hard to promote the new Sacagawea Dollar, trying to get it into circulation and build excitement around it. In an effort to boost public interest, the Mint decided to create a small number of promotional coins made entirely of gold. These were never meant for general use. In fact, they were intended as presentation pieces, gifts for dignitaries or internal testing samples, made in extremely limited quantities. Only a few of these gold coins were ever struck. Some say as few as 12 exist. Others believe there may be even fewer that survived. What we do know is that at least one of these coins somehow made its way out into the collector's world, and that discovery changed everything. Imagine coming across a coin that looks just like an ordinary dollar at first glance. You pick it up, feel its weight, notice something different, and then you realize, it's solid gold. Not plated, not painted, but true, high-purity gold. That's the kind of moment that makes a collector's heart stop. The design on this rare coin is the same as the standard issue, Sacagawea on the front, a soaring eagle on the back, but the difference lies in the material and the incredible story behind how it was made. Even more fascinating is the fact that these gold dollars are technically not legal tender. They were never released officially for circulation. That makes them pattern coins, experimental strikes not meant for public use. Now, pattern coins have always held a special place in numismatic history. They represent what could have been, a glimpse into the creative process behind currency. And when they're made of gold? That takes things to a whole new level. These pieces are often housed in secure collections, auctioned behind closed doors, and discussed in whispers at coin conventions. They are the crown jewels of American coin collecting. Another detail that makes this coin so valuable is its condition. The few gold dollar coins from 2000 that have surfaced were struck in proof or specimen quality, meaning mirror-like surfaces, razor-sharp details, and flawless edges. Collectors know that when rarity meets perfection, prices skyrocket, and believe it or not, one of these coins was found during a routine audit of the Mint's vaults. Another reportedly turned up at an auction house, completely unexpectedly. The moment collectors realized what they were looking at, bidding wars erupted. The buzz traveled fast, and soon, this little $1 coin became one of the most talked about rarities in modern American numismatics. So how much is it actually worth? That's the question everyone wants answered. After all, it's just a dollar, right? It's not centuries old, it's not made by hand, it's not even in circulation. But rarity changes everything. History changes everything. And the fact that this coin exists at all is something of a miracle. There are coins that gain value over time due to age, wear, or historical events. Then there are coins like this, rare by birth, destined to be legendary from the very beginning, and for one of these elusive, museum-worthy 2000 gold $1 coins, certified and in near-perfect condition, the value is absolutely stunning. Are you ready for this? If you're lucky enough to own one of these rare 2000 Sacagawea gold dollar pattern coins, its value today can reach an astonishing $232,000. Yes, you heard that right. $232,000 for one single dollar coin. So if you ever come across a Sacagawea dollar that feels a little heavier, looks a little brighter, or just seems too perfect to be true, don't ignore it. It might be one of the rarest coins ever made in American history. And it might just change your life. Today we're about to take you into the world of rare American currency that turns pocket change into pure gold, literally. If you've ever thought a simple $1 coin couldn't possibly be worth more than a few bucks, get ready to have your mind blown. Because today, we're going deep into one of the rarest, most mysterious modern coins ever produced in the United States. We're talking about the elusive 2009 gold $1 coin, a coin so rare, so little known, that even many experienced collectors have never seen one in person. Now, before you assume this is just another dollar coin with a golden color, hold on. The coin we're talking about today is not your average Sacagawea or presidential dollar. This is something altogether different. A $1 coin, yes, but struck in actual solid gold. Not the brass manganese alloy used in the usual circulating coins. We're talking pure, valuable, heavy gold. So what happened in 2009 that made this coin so special? That year was part of the presidential $1 coin program, a series launched to honor the legacy of U.S. presidents with a unique design for each one, issued in the order they served. William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James K. Polk, and Zachary Taylor were all featured in 2009. These coins were released in circulation and also in collector sets. But behind the scenes, something very different was being tested at the United States Mint. To experiment with materials, finishes, and future possibilities, the Mint quietly produced a small number of test coins, sometimes called pattern coins. These are experimental pieces not intended for general circulation. In the case of 2009, it's believed that a handful of $1 coins were struck in solid gold, a bold, secretive step that never made it into the headlines. These coins weren't sold. They weren't circulated. In fact, they weren't even supposed to leave government facilities. But somehow, just like legends from the golden age of coin collecting, a few of these pieces have surfaced. And when they did, they turned the collecting world upside down. Now, let's talk about the design for a second. Like the standard 2009 presidential dollar, these gold versions featured one of the presidents on the obverse, depending on which variation you find, and the Statue of Liberty on the reverse, which was a consistent theme throughout the series. What sets these apart isn't just the metal, though that's obviously a huge factor. It's also the quality of the strike. These coins were made with incredible precision. Deep, frosted features. Mirror-like fields. Ultra-sharp edge lettering that includes the year, mint mark, and mottos like, "In God We Trust," and "E Pluribus Unum." They look absolutely stunning. But because so few exist, finding one is like stumbling upon a lost treasure. How did any of them make it into private hands? That part remains somewhat of a mystery. Some believe these coins were given as internal presentations, or possibly used in internal mint experiments and later misplaced or unofficially traded. Others suspect they were quietly sold to a select group of elite collectors with deep pockets and inside connections. Whatever the case, the number of these gold $1 coins from 2009 is extremely limited, and their existence wasn't even widely acknowledged until sharp-eyed collectors began spotting them in exclusive auctions. And here's where the real magic happens. When a coin is this rare, this beautiful, and backed by a genuine story of government secrecy and experimental minting, its value doesn't just rise, it skyrockets. Collectors go crazy for coins like this because they're not just rare, they're practically mythical. You can have thousands of coins in your collection, but a piece like this? It becomes the crown jewel. The one people talk about. The one you keep in the center of the display, under lock and key, with lighting that makes it shine like treasure from a sunken ship. Now here's the thing, most people will never see one of these in their lifetime. They're not found in coin rolls, not hiding in drawers, not sitting in your change jar. But every once in a while, one appears. And when it does, it doesn't just raise eyebrows. It breaks records. So now comes the big question you've all been waiting for: how much is this mysterious, little-known 2009 gold $1 coin actually worth? Let's put it this way: if you happen to be holding one of these in your collection, certified by a top grading agency, in pristine condition, you might want to sit down for this part. Because one of these rare 2009 solid gold $1 coins has been valued at an astonishing $208,000, yes, you heard that right. $208,000, for a coin with a face value of just $1. So if you ever come across a presidential dollar that feels a bit different, a bit heavier, a bit shinier than the rest, don't brush it off. You might be holding one of the rarest modern coins ever produced in the United States. And if you are, well, congratulations, you're holding gold history. Today's story. Because we're diving into a coin that looks small, seems ordinary, and has a face value of just $1, but could actually be worth a fortune. We're talking about a coin that's more than just money. It's a mystery, a rare collector's prize, and a solid piece of American history. Today, we're unveiling the secret of the 2009 United States gold $1 coin. And trust me, by the end of this video, you might be digging through your coin collection with new eyes. Let's set the scene. It's the year 2009. The presidential $1 coin program is in full swing. These coins were designed to honor the legacy of America's presidents, and millions of them were minted and released into circulation that year. From the outside, it was just another year for the U.S. Mint. But what most people didn't know was that something very unusual was happening behind the scenes, something that would eventually become a legend in the world of coin collecting. Now, if you've ever seen a presidential dollar coin, you know they have a golden color. But here's the catch: they aren't made of real gold. They're just a manganese brass alloy that gives off a golden hue. That's where this story takes a turn. Somewhere along the way, at the Denver Mint, where the D mint mark comes from, a few experimental strikes of the 2009 presidential dollar were created using actual gold. These weren't announced to the public. They weren't part of any collector's set. They weren't even supposed to be released. But somehow, some way, a handful of them made it into existence, and that's where the legend of the 2009 gold $1 coin begins. This coin looks almost identical to the standard issue. It still features the same presidential portrait on the front, the same powerful image of the Statue of Liberty on the back, and the same edge lettering that includes the mint mark, the year, and those familiar phrases, "In God we trust," and "E pluribus unum." But hold it in your hand, and the difference becomes clear. It's heavier. The color is deeper. And the feel? Solid, unmistakable gold. Why were these coins made in gold? That's part of the mystery. Some numismatists believe they were experimental patterns, test pieces created to explore future possibilities. Others think they were intended for presentations or internal use, possibly never meant to leave the minting facility. But as we've learned time and time again, rare coins have a way of escaping into the world. And when one finally showed up in the wild, collectors took notice. Now, when a coin like this is discovered, it goes through intense scrutiny. Experts examine the weight, metal content, strike quality, and mint mark. In this case, the D on the edge confirmed it came from the Denver Mint. And once it was certified as authentic and struck in real gold, the coin immediately became one of the most talked about numismatic finds of the decade. What makes this coin even more fascinating is how incredibly few exist. We're not talking about a couple thousand. We're not even talking about 100. Only a very small number of these coins are confirmed to have ever been made, and even fewer have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. That level of rarity? It's the stuff collectors dream of. Now let's talk about value. When something is this rare, this mysterious, and this historically significant, its worth goes far beyond the metal it's made of. It becomes a piece of living history. A story frozen in gold. And collectors around the world are willing to pay staggering prices to own something that no one else has. Imagine a coin that could change your entire collection. A coin that instantly becomes the centerpiece. A coin that, if found in your old coin jar, could literally change your life. So what's the real value of a 2009 United States gold $1 coin? Are you ready? Because one of these coins, certified, authenticated, and in exceptional condition, has been valued at an astonishing $211,000. That's right. One small gold coin. $1 in face value. But in the collector's market? It's worth over 200 grand. Now imagine that kind of treasure slipping through someone's fingers, mistaken for pocket change. That's why collectors, historians, and treasure hunters keep searching. Because coins like this remind us that the next great discovery might be sitting in a drawer, resting in a box, or hiding in plain sight. And when it comes to the 2009 gold $1 coin, it's not just a piece of money, it's a golden mystery waiting to be uncovered. Today's video might just change the way you look at pocket change forever. Because we're about to uncover the story of a coin that's small in size but enormous in value, a coin that has remained hidden in plain sight for years. It's shiny, mysterious, and rare beyond belief. We're talking about the elusive 2000 United States gold $1 coin, a coin that might be sitting in someone's drawer right now, completely unrecognized, and yet it holds a value that could buy you a brand new luxury car, or maybe even a house. Now, let's go back to the year 2000. The world was adjusting to the new millennium. The internet was starting to take off, mobile phones were getting smarter, and the US Mint launched what would become one of its most iconic modern coin programs, the Sacagawea Dollar. Featuring the brave Shoshone woman who guided the Lewis and Clark expedition, this $1 coin had a golden color, a fresh design, and a goal to replace the paper dollar bill with something more durable and modern. Millions of these coins were minted. Most of them were produced with a copper core and a manganese brass outer layer to give it that golden look. They went into everyday circulation, used in vending machines, handed out as change, and forgotten in coin jars across America. But something very different happened at the Denver Mint. Among the countless standard 2000 Sacagawea dollar coins, a very small number were struck in solid gold. Not gold-colored, not gold-plated, but actual high-purity gold. These weren't meant for circulation. They weren't advertised. They weren't sold to collectors. In fact, they were never supposed to leave the mint. These coins were what numismatists call pattern coins, experimental strikes used to test new materials or processes. Think of them as prototypes. The US Mint has a long history of producing pattern coins, but these are almost always kept locked away or destroyed. But as history has shown us time and time again, sometimes these extraordinary pieces find their way into the hands of the public, whether through error, chance, or something more mysterious, and that's exactly what happened with the 2000 gold dollar. One of these coins was discovered by a private collector. At first glance, it looked like a regular Sacagawea dollar, but it was heavier, brighter, and different in a way that was hard to explain. Once it was tested, the truth came out. It was pure gold, struck with the 2000 Sacagawea design, complete with a D mint mark indicating the Denver Mint. Now, let's talk about how rare this really is. The Denver Mint alone produced hundreds of millions of regular Sacagawea dollars in 2000. But as for the solid gold versions, only a handful are known to exist. That's right, this isn't just rare. It's nearly one of a kind. These coins were never offered to the public, never included in any official collector's set, and were likely created only for internal use or testing. The design on the coin is identical to the regular issue. The obverse features Sacagawea carrying her infant son, with 17 stars representing the states in the Union at the time of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The reverse features a soaring eagle, a symbol of American strength and freedom. But the story that surrounds this coin, and the metal it's made from, is what elevates it to an entirely different level. Collectors around the world love a good mystery. They love rarity, exclusivity, and the thrill of the unexpected. So when a gold version of a common coin appears, and it's real, authenticated, and backed by historical intrigue, its value skyrockets. And understandably so. Most people will never lay eyes on one of these in their lifetime. You won't find it in change, and you won't pick it up at a local pawn shop. These coins are in a league of their own. When they come up for auction, serious collectors enter bidding wars just for the chance to own a piece of modern numismatic legend, and just imagine the shock of finding one by accident, tossed in with a handful of loose change or resting quietly in a collection you inherited from a grandparent. That's the magic of coin collecting. That's the excitement that keeps people searching. So now the big question, what's this coin actually worth? After all, it's still just a $1 coin, right? Well, not quite. Because when you combine history, rarity, and solid gold in a coin that was never meant to exist in the first place, you get something truly extraordinary. One of these 2000D solid gold Sacagawea dollars, in authenticated condition, has been valued at an absolutely jaw-dropping $200,000, yes. You heard that right. $200,000, for a $1 coin, and that, right there, is why coin collecting is one of the most thrilling hobbies in the world. Because at any moment, from any drawer, box, or roll of coins, a treasure like this could appear. It's not just about money, it's about history, craftsmanship, and the stories that live within the coins we often overlook. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into rare coins, forgotten pieces of American history, and unbelievable values, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a discovery. Got a strange or valuable coin of your own? Let us know in the comments. We love hearing your stories. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes open, your pockets jingling, and your curiosity alive. Because the next $1 million find might be closer than you think.